That's mad! Hey everyone, Henry Yellow here, welcome back. Right now we are going to watch Failsafe, directed by Sidney Lumet. Now I was reading up uh, just a little bit on the summary of the movie, so I'm not completely lost. And it actually sounds like Doctor Strangelove. So maybe Doctor Strangelove is a parody of this movie. I should have watched this movie before Doctor Strangelove. You know what? I think I might have added this movie, Failsafe, after someone suggested it in the comments for my reaction to Doctor Strangelove. Yeah, I think so. This time, I'm sure that this movie isn't a comedy or a satire, so it's a thriller and war movie. New York City, 5:30 a.m. I didn't know there were bull performances in New York. Wait, do they actually kill the bull? Oh man, this noise is too loud. Oh, Henry Fonda as the president. Yeah, I just watched Henry Fonda in 12 Angry Men.
I had the dream again. Sometime I'm going to see that matador, find out who he is. When I do, that's it. That's the end of me.
Don't talk like that. No, it's only a dream.
Sometimes I feel the only way I can make it disappear is to give it all up and to resign. Well, maybe it's too late.
Oh, Warren, don't go. Skip the meeting.
This one's special. The new secretary's going to be there. We're even holding it in the war room to show how up to date we are.
The War Room.
We can go out for dinner. I'll be back by then. I don't know what I'd do without you.
You wouldn't do very well.
Oh, and he flies his own plane. Cool.
I say 60 million is perhaps the highest price we should be prepared to pay in a war.
What's the difference between 60 million dead and 100 million?
40 million.
Some difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
In a nuclear war, everyone loses. With most of its people dead, the rest dying, the food poisoned, the air unfit to breathe. You call that a culture?
Yes, I do.
Who would survive?
Only the toughest ones survive. Or should I say, only the ones at the top. Highest ranking ones will survive.
Convicts and file clerks. Because they would be in fireproof rooms, protected by tons of the best insulator in the world, paper. The small group of vicious criminals will fight the army of file clerks for the remaining means of life. The convicts will know violence, but the file clerks will know organization.
Oh, that's a movie idea. In my opinion, if the file clerks learn violence, then the file clerks will win.
You must come again, Professor Grotescelli, with your wife.
Grotescelli. That's quite a name.
I'm Elsa Wolf. We were introduced before dinner. I'd like you to take me home. You could joke about the convicts and file clerks because you know there won't be any survivors, will there? None at all.
No, I'm sure there'll be
It's
some.
the beauty of it.
I've heard nuclear war called a lot of things, Miss Wolf. Never beautiful.
We all know we're going to die, but you make a game out of it, a marvelous game that includes the whole world. You make death an entertainment, something that can be played in a living room.
As good a place as any.
The living room. The game of death played in a living room.
You'd love making it possible, wouldn't you? You'd love pressing that button. To have the power to take everyone else with you. The mob of them with their plans, their little hopes. But you're afraid, so you look for the thrill someplace else. And who better than a man who isn't afraid? I'm not your kind.
All right. That's where he draws the line. He has principles. But that type of woman is pretty scary too.
Well, where did you get the money?
Bring it to town, Airman. That's the address.
No, sir, General, he just left.
Damn it, I need him. Where'd he sign out to?
This is the house, General.
Spending the money I sent you on this? You ain't gonna learn another once more. Sorry to bother you, Colonel. We have some unexpected VIPs we have to show around.
Well, this is kind of awkward. She spent it on booze.
Drop now and then. Your boy, he gets a little excited.
Oh no, he spent it on booze.
It's that Congressman Raskob, the one who's been nosing around the bases.
Trying to avoid the topic of his parents.
Good airplane, 24. At least you knew you were flying the airplane, not the other way around, like these things. The next airplanes, they won't need men.
You'll be too old anyway.
Get a different crew every time we go up.
Eliminates the personal factor.
Can't depend on people the same way. Who do you depend on? I like the personal factor.
Those are Vindicator bombers of the Strategic Air Command on routine patrol. Each plane carries two 20-megaton hydrogen bombs designed to detonate over enemy targets. Night or day, flights of those airplanes are in the air.
The picture you're about to see, Mr. Raskob, is being taken now by a camera 300 miles in the sky traveling at 20,000 miles an hour.
Whoa, that zoom is pretty good.
Those are the rocket sights from 300 miles up.
Get us sharper than that before long. We'll show you the hair on their head, Mr. Raskob.
This is the western coast of the United States, Hawaiian Islands, and those are Russian subs. Not close.
What, they can even see that? Wait, they really have this amazing technology back then? That's actually impressive.
These machines scare the hell out of me. I don't like the idea that every time I take off my hat, some thing up there knows I'm losing my hair. It's in the nature of technology. Machines are developed to meet situations.
Now they take over and they start creating situations.
Not necessarily.
There's always a chance.
There's a chance of humans too.
Who checks the checker? Where's the end of the line, Joe?
Who's got the responsibility? The president. What you're seeing, gentlemen, is an unidentified flying object picked up by our radar.
Until we get positive identification, we regard it as hostile. They will now start flight toward their fail-safe points.
The planes will fly to those points and orbit until they get a positive order to go in.
How do they get that order? By radio?
Yes, and through a box we call the fail-safe box aboard each plane. No one can interfere with the fail-safe box, Mr. Raskob. No one.
Fail safe.
Does it happen often? Oh, about 6 times a month. Probably an airliner, of course.
And we confine the exchange of nuclear weapons to military targets alone, almost war lead inevitably to the destruction of cities.
The object of war is to inflict maximum damage on the enemy, destroy his ability to resist. I still don't see how we could restrict the war.
We could come to a mutual agreement with the Russians to strike only at missile bases.
What if the missile bases were near the cities?
They would have an incentive to move them elsewhere.
We've got to stop war, not limit it. There's no such thing as a limited war anymore. Not with hydrogen bombs, there isn't. Once those bombs start to drop, you won't be able to limit a damn thing. We're all trying to make war more efficient.
That's our job.
We now have the capacity to blow up the whole world several times over. We're setting up a war machine that acts faster than the ability of men to control it.
Our concept of limited war is based on an equal rationality on the part of the Russians. It also presupposes there will be no accidents on either side. Suppose that unidentified flying object was one of their 50-megaton missiles that had gotten loose by mistake. How could they prove it was really an accident? Should we still think in terms of limiting our response, or should we hit them back with everything we have?
It's dropped below the level at which our radar can pick it up, that's all. Could be a commercial plane about to crash.
Or an enemy plane taking evasive action.
Whoa, more people coming in now. Not air-breathing vehicle. What does that mean? Oh. Does that mean it's a missile?
Of course.
Here we are.
3, 2, 1. All groups at fail-safe point.
Colonel Cassio?
Yes, sir.
Go to condition green.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. One color away from red. It is a commercial flight, of course. I hope they save the plane.
Contact all the planes and have them resume their normal patrol.
Yes, sir. Something blew in the fault indicator, sir. We're replacing the whole unit.
Oh, it's that easy to replace.
Sir, the fail-safe box.
There must be some mistake. Check Omaha.
Can't get through, Colonel. Interference.
What do you mean you can't get through? What kind of interference?
You must be trying to keep us from getting our go signal.
Well, they're too late for that.
Oh, I can imagine they all must be really, really nervous. Oh, he kept it on him all along.
Code sequence correct for today, sir. Signal is go.
In Doctor Strangelove, he was kept in a safe, but in this one, it's kept on them at all times. Dang, imagine how the pilot must feel. I can feel his emotion through the screen, man, even though I only see his eyes. Haha,
Oh, Buck, how's your Russian today?
Henry Fonda.
Fine, sir.
Good, we may need it. Who's at the Pentagon briefing today? I want them in on this.
There's a general, Buck.
That's Blackie. I'm glad he's there. We went to college together. Tell him to turn up the air conditioning. It's hot as hell down here. If far enough down, maybe it is hell.
He's got time to joke.
One of our Vindicator groups got a wrong signal. Took off to bomb Moscow. We've got to stop it. You know what went wrong?
No, sir, we do not.
Why can't you raise them by radio?
We don't know for sure, sir.
Interference.
The Russians may be jamming their reception with some new device we know nothing about.
It's possible the fail-safe mechanism might be giving them a go signal at the same time they can't reach you for positive confirmation.
Yep, that's what happened.
Your voice can be imitated by the enemy, sir. Our men have been drilled in that. Once they're beyond a certain point, they're not to trust any verbal transmission. The next step would be to order the fighters after the bombers to raise them visually and divert them from their course.
But if the bombers don't respond, then what?
The fighters would be ordered to shoot them down.
You'll have to kill them.
Who gives that order?
You do, sir.
Wow. That burden is on his shoulder.
The president says he may have to order our fighters to shoot down Group 6.
We've got to do it, and fast, right now, before it's too late.
Might be too late anyway.
They can go to afterburners. That'll increase their speed.
And use up their fuel? We'll go down in the ocean.
We've got to try it.
Why do they have to attack? Our men have been trained to expect anything from the enemy, even sending up his own fighter planes disguised as ours.
This minute, the Russians are watching their boards, trying to figure out what we're up to. If we can't convince them it's an accident, which we're trying to correct, we're going to have something on our hands that nobody bargained for.
Yep. Not a limited war anymore.
The fighters are to overtake the Vindicators and, if necessary, shoot them down.
It will be necessary.
I know that, General. Order them in.
Well, at least he tried to console the president.
They're catching me, sir. Every second you wait takes them farther away. Killing them, General, and they haven't got a chance.
So not only did they have to shoot them down, kill Group 6, but to have not enough fuel and end up dying themselves.
Go to afterburners and overtake and attack Group 6.
You heard the man. We go to afterburner. And use what to run this airplane, Spit? By the time we run out of gas, they'll only be 1,000 miles away. 3, 2, 1.
They know they're not gonna make it back.
Alert RC rescue, sir.
Might as well.
No point.
No point? Are they trying to say that they won't be in time to save them anyway?
Beautiful.
Dang, that man has as much lunacy as that woman that we saw, Ilsa Wolf.
If our fighters have to shoot down the Vindicators, the worst is over. I want your people now to consider what we do if they can't shoot them down.
Now they should have a second plan. If the worst case scenario happens, plan.
First, what happened? Second, what do we do about it? Third, what are the Russians going to think of all this? And fourth, what are they going to do about it?
Something failed. A man, a machine. It was bound to happen. It did. Maybe we'll never know why or what.
The more complex an electronic system gets, the more accident-prone it is. Sooner or later, it breaks down.
The machines are supervised by humans. Even if the machine fails, the human being can always correct the mistake.
Not always.
The mistakes they make are so subtle, a human being just can't know whether a machine is lying or telling the truth.
We do have a large number of fighters in the air, sir.
Abnormally large.
My guess is that they know all about Group 6. They saw it fly to the fail-safe point. They've seen that happen plenty of times. They know the procedure. They send up their fighter planes just in case.
I think if our bombers get through, the Russians will surrender.
Really?
They think that communism must succeed eventually if the Soviet Union is left reasonably intact. They know that a war would leave the Soviet Union utterly destroyed.
Suppose they feel they can knock us off first.
They know we might have a doomsday system. Missiles that will go into action days after a war is over and destroy an enemy even after that enemy has already destroyed us. The Russians will surrender and the threat of communism will be over forever.
I don't agree.
We must take advantage of it. History demands it.
Are you willing to take that chance? Nah, it isn't worth the risk. Oh no, they didn't make it. They ran out of fuel. They didn't even get close.
Mr. President, the fighters have not succeeded. They've gone down into the sea.
They just killed those men. What now?
Buck, I'm going to talk to the Soviet premier now. I want to know not only what he's saying, but what you think he's feeling. Any inflection of his voice, any tone, any emotion that adds to his words. Don't be afraid all this is too big for you, Buck.
That's a big challenge for a translator. Of course, he'll call them to inform them so that they can intercept Group 6. So they're giving them instructions to kill their own Group 6.
It's the premier, sir. Mr. Chairman, this is the President of the United States, and I'm calling you on a matter of great urgency.
Does it have to do with the aircraft we had detected flying towards Russia?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. A group of our bombers, each loaded with two 20-megaton bombs, is flying towards your country.
We shall watch with great interest while you recall them.
So far, we have been unable to recall them. It's not an attempt to provoke war. It's not part of a general attack.
How do I know you do not have hundreds of other planes coming in so low our radar cannot pick them up?
Because I hope to prove to you that it's an accident. You must have seen that we sent fighter planes to shoot down the bombers.
How do I know the planes were not simply diving to a low altitude to escape our radar?
Naturally suspicious.
And you ask me to believe you?
You must believe me. If we don't trust each other now, Mr. Chairman, there may not be another time.
That's true.
It is a hard thing to order men to their death, is it not?
It is.
Someone trying to persuade him it's a trick. They want him to strike back at once.
I hope you're able to shoot down our bombers. But I urge you not to take any steps that cannot be recalled. You also know that if you launch missiles, we must do the same. If that happens, there'll be very little left of the world. But I must tell you what my people tell me. No matter what you do, at least one of the planes will get through to the target.
Tell your enemy to shoot down your own people and ordering men to their deaths.
How far from the border?
2 minutes.
You better start fighting on.
Project the Soviet fighter planes. Give me tight scale on the Russian border.
Whoa, they're all moving in.
They've crossed the border.
The technical state of war now exists.
It's happening.
All those new little blips you see are decoys that have
Have the Russian fighters launched any missiles yet?
There go some of them now.
Decoys.
Can you wipe the decoys off the screen so that we see just their planes and ours?
There you are, General.
Wow, they can do that. Man, not right to root for them, not right to not root for them.
We have only a little time left, Mr. President. Sounds sorrowful, sad. Your masking devices are better than we had thought. Hundreds of targets have appeared on the radar. Many of my experts are convinced that they are real. Neither of us wants war. But we must be convinced that this is truly a mistake.
Just before our planes took off from their failed-safe point, there was a white flash on our plotting board. Was it your jamming that kept us from getting through to our planes?
I do not know about this jamming. I think it does.
You asked for proof, Mr. Chairman. This could be it.
We jammed your radios with a special device. Even I did not know about. We have computers like yours. They computed that this time your alert might be real.
On what grounds?
Probability? They have their own logic. It is not human, but it is positive, so we listen.
Will you lift the jamming so I can talk to the group commander? What's the group commander's name?
Colonel Jack Grady, sir.
Does he have a wife?
Yes, sir, he does.
Find her. If I can't persuade him, maybe she can. Colonel Grady, this is the President of the United States. I order you and the other planes to return to your base at once. Do you hear? At once.
But you're telling me I've been specifically ordered not to do.
Damn it, Grady, this is the President.
Conflict. Dang it, do you believe it or do you not believe it? You've been trained not to believe it, but... Oh, man.
Mr. Chairman, I think it would be wise for you to remove yourself from Moscow so that you'll be out of danger.
Shall I come to Geneva, hat in hand, begging for peace?
I offered you help. You refused it. I offered again. We will help you shoot down the planes.
Does he even still have time to move away from Moscow? Like, the bombers are coming in fast. You can feel the tension in the air. It's just hanging there heavy.
This time we can finish what we start. And if we act now, right now, our casualties will be minimal. You know what you're saying.
Going for the throat while the enemy is down.
Even if we do survive, what are we? Better than what we say they are?
Those who can survive are the only ones worth surviving.
Fighting for your life isn't the same as murder.
How long would the Nazis have kept it up if every Jew they came after had met them with a gun in his hand? I learned from them, General Black. Oh, I learned.
You learned so well that now there's no difference between you and what you want to kill.
A dog-eat-dog world. You die or I die.
General Black.
Yes, Mr. President.
Blackie, remember the story of the sacrifice of Abraham?
I remember, sir.
Keep it in mind the next few hours. Are Catherine and the kids in New York?
Yes, sir.
I may be asking a great deal of you.
The dream of the bull must be flitting through Blackie's head right now.
I've activated the touch phone between you and the Soviet command. Will you test it, please?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, his hands are slightly shaking.
The Soviet premier has behaved as I believe I would under similar conditions. I think he believes this is an accident. I therefore order every American cooperate fully with Soviet officers in shooting down our invading planes. Withholding of information can have the most tragic consequences.
The president did what he must, but he will receive a huge backlash.
Do the missiles from these bombers have both infrared and radar capabilities?
That's a question.
Revealing military secrets.
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear, they've got to know we're on the level.
Can the radar-seeking mechanism be overloaded by increasing the strength of the signal?
Tell them!
Yes, sir.
Dang, it's like he had to squeeze it out of himself. Dang, people, don't blame him.
We've told them how to blow up our air-to-air missiles.
Yeah, they've taught the enemy how to counterattack their weapons. People will be mad at that guy, I'm sure, but it had to be done if they don't want the most tragic consequences happening.
I think this is all a trap. They're just using the time to get their missiles ready and fly their bombers into position. I think we should recommend a full-strength attack.
The Pentagon.
They don't know what we know. They're not soldiers anymore. They're politicians.
Order a first strike, General. Put an end to it once and for all. You have the power. You can do it.
You are talking treason.
Will you please give us the position of the three planes?
Can do.
Oh!
The negotiations which General Dogan has been conducting with the enemy are the acts of a lunatic.
We got orders, Colonel. You make a fuss, they'll kill you.
You're a traitor.
Whoa.
You want me dead? I saw it this morning when you found me with those people. I'm better than you are!
Oh, that got personal. And yeah, some people would break under these conditions.
I was aware of your difficulty, General Logan. We have had such problems ourselves.
Anyone could crack under the street.
If you ask me, he was a boy on the end.
He was a good soldier.
Do your people think there is still a chance of bringing down the bombers?
There is always a chance. But I'm asking you, what if they cannot?
This is what will happen if even one of the bombers gets through. It will drop 2 20-megaton bombs on Moscow. What we will hear at this end will be a high, shrill sound. That will be the ambassador's phone melting from the heat of the fireball. When we hear that sound, the ambassador will be dead.
Dang.
I've ordered a Vindicator bomber into the air from Washington. It will be flying over New York City. It is carrying 2 20-megaton bombs.
What?
I will order that plane to drop its bombs.
That's mad.
When we hear the shriek of Mr. Lentoff's phone melting, we will know that he is gone. With him, New York.
That's... What? Mutual destruction? That's his solution? At least that's what he's proposing. Of course, he hopes it does not happen.
I believe this was an accident, but I also believe your action is the only way out.
Well, we can still hope I won't have to take that action.
That is a huge show of good faith, bordering on madness. It's like saying, if I poke your eye out, I'll poke my own eye out, even though me poking your eye out was an accident.
Glenn, how many of your decoys do you have left?
How many do you need?
I want you to take some of those fighters off my tail.
Will do.
Billy,
Yeah.
I depend on you.
It's just trying to draw your fighters away from our other plane carrying the bombs.
So try for a kill in any case.
It doesn't carry any bombs. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, they still don't trust him.
I told you!
Logan, what's happened?
Marshal Nevsky sent his fighters after a plane that carried no bombs. That means our number one plane will almost certainly get through.
Our hope is to set off a thermonuclear barrier that nothing can penetrate.
That might work.
General, are you in Moscow now?
I was ordered to leave.
Is your...
His family is still in Moscow.
General Morgan?
Yes.
They found Mrs. Grady. She's standing by.
Would their rockets follow missiles, too?
I don't see why not. A missile produces heat.
Now, the minute you see those rockets ignite on the scope, you fire our missiles and guide them from maximum elevation straight up. Our rockets will follow the missiles, explode too high to hurt us.
Jack, this is Helen. Do you recognize my voice? Jack, you must turn back. You mustn't drop those bombs. There's no war. We're fine.
If this doesn't work...
Jack, do you answer me, please?
You can't trust it, sir. We gotta get out of here.
No!
So hold tight. Blast gave us enough radiation. Best would only last a couple of days. When we're over the target, our bombs are set to go at 5,000. We'll go with them.
They know they wouldn't survive the radiation anyway.
What the hell? There's nothing to go home to anyway.
But there is... Why don't you believe your wife?
On this short notice, an alert to a big city would do more harm than good. All it produces panic.
The people won't even know what hit him.
Maybe he doesn't know his wife is there.
He knows.
He knows.
I estimate the immediate dead at about 3 million. Add another million or two who'll die within about 5 weeks. But even though there are no irreplaceable government documents in the city, many of our largest corporations keep their records there.
Oh, he's already planning ahead.
And the Lord said, gentlemen, he who is without sin, let him cast the first stone.
Well, you did a good job today, Buck. You didn't freeze up. Another man might have.
You're the one who didn't, sir. Do not think we have much of a chance.
I know.
And yet, this was nobody's fault.
I don't agree. We're to blame, both of us. We let our machines get out of hand. Millions of innocent people killed. What do we say to them, Mr. Chairman? Accidents will happen. I won't accept that. Today we had a taste of the future. Do we learn from it or do we go on the way we have?
But do you think it possible, with all that stands between us?
We put it there, Mr. Chairman, and we're not helpless. What we put between us, we can remove.
The sky is very bright. All lit up.
Put me through to General Black.
Yes, Mr. President.
Drop your bombs according to plan.
The Blackie's the one who's gonna drop the bombs.
Nobody else has to have anything to do with the dropping of the bombs. It's fine, all right. It's fine. 5, 4, 3, 2.
That's a fast
1.
countdown.
Mark.
General Black!
A dream. A matador. Me.
So he is the Matador. Dang, I just got goosebumps. Yep, that's the sound of his dream that he had from the beginning. Wow. I did not expect them to go for this ending. Up till the final second, I honestly thought that they were gonna shoot the bomber down. But they didn't. Moscow was obliterated, followed next by New York. Tens of millions of lives lost, all because the failsafe failed. After the ending of this movie, the world would be similar to a post-apocalyptic world. And it does make me wonder if someone did write a story about the world after this failsafe ending. Maybe convicts survived. Maybe foul clerks survived. And in this post apocalyptic world, they fight for resources. One side who knows violence, and another side who knows organization. Who will prevail? Or perhaps no one survives. 3 million people die the moment the bomb hits ground zero, and a few million more die within 5 weeks because of the radiation. This is a very scary alternate future for us if a failsafe ever fails, or if a doomsday device ever gets activated. As I've said after my reaction to Doctor Strangelove, I believe there are these things, fail-safes, things similar to doomsday devices. They are in place and in operation right now. The good thing is, these things which are in place has not failed us yet, and has not led to these tragic consequences yet. If it does happen though, well, we probably wouldn't live long enough to suffer, I suppose. This movie, which was released back in 1964, is perhaps trying to put the question to us whether technology can be trusted. In the movie itself, all this happened because of a faulty transistor, like faulty wiring maybe, and followed by the Russians jamming the communications. Who's to say this won't actually happen in real life now or in the future? I feel like someone commented before in the Doctor Strangelove reaction that after watching Doctor Strangelove, like people who are in charge of things like this really like made some adjustments, or they put in even more safety and precautionary measures to avoid things like this happening. So that's good. Movies like this that question these kinds of tragic possibilities help us to understand that these things are possible, and we should take steps to prevent this kind of thing. Failsafe is a very tense movie that you can feel that heavy tension in the air. Everything was just tense up to the climax. The shrill sound of the phone being melted as the bomb explodes, which is very similar to the sound in a dream that Blackie had at the beginning. So I suppose Blackie did foresee the future. The men, the soldiers, the pilots, they did a good job because they followed their orders. And that's also the thing, isn't it? They follow orders, but at the same time, it's because they followed these orders that made this entire thing happen. The pilot ignored the president's direct orders when the president ordered him to stand down. But even at the end, when they got his wife to contact him and tell him to stop, he still didn't stop. I believe it was partly because, number one, he still believed it might be a trick by the enemy. But number two, it's because he has come this far. He has reached his target, and all of his comrades, the entire Group 6, has died. And he did not want their sacrifice to be in vain. I believe that's partly why he did it. I see a little bit of similarity between Dr. or Professor Gottschall and Dr. Strangelove. So I think, Dr. Strangelove is a parody of Gottschall. Overall, I would say that this is a quite scary and very possible alternate future, which is very interesting to watch. Perhaps there are some things which I might have missed out or not thought of because I did not live, during this time. So If you have any thoughts on this movie, let me know down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.